Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Today I'm taking small wind spinners and turning them into Christmas ornaments. So I had this idea when I saw these super small 4-inch wind spinners. I was like, what else could I make with those? Because they don't seem big enough for a garden, but they are perfect for your Christmas tree. And then I found some Christmas tree shaped ones, so I knew the idea was a good one. So we're gonna go over how to make these, and you can make them either way or both ways. And if you wanted to make the larger 8-inch version for your Christmas tree, you could do that as well. So let's first take a look at the supplies we're gonna use. Heat-resistant tape, heat-resistant gloves, protected paper, and then some kind of heat source. I'm gonna use this small handheld press from Makerflow. It's perfect for small projects like this one. Heat-resistant mat, your sublimation print, and we'll take a look at how to design that in just a minute. And then your sublimation blanks. Let's take a closer look at the two versions that I'm going to use. You can see they're quite small and perfect for Christmas ornaments. I'm going to be using two different wind spinner blanks for this. The first is a 4-inch round wind spinner. Now I like the smaller size for the tree, but you could go with the 8-inch variety as well, which would be about twice as big as this one. Then this small one is about 4 inches as well. However, it is shaped like a Christmas tree. So both of these make great ornaments. Now they already have a hole at the top that you can use to put a ribbon through, or you can use the hooks that come with them. Now the hooks that come with them allow these to spin. They may or may not spin on your tree, but I do think they would be a great addition to a Christmas tree. The next thing you'll want to do is to measure the wind spinner itself. This said it was 4 inches, but I always like to make sure, and it is exactly 4 inches, so I'll probably make my print a little oversized. So we want to measure both of these in two directions. Then we can head to Canva and see how to make our design. I'm starting out with a custom page size of 8.5 by 11 inches because that is the size of my sublimation paper. Then I'm going to search elements for my first one, which is a circle, and I'm going to pick frames. Then just drag and drop one of these frames over. Click position. Now this is a 4-inch wind spinner. However, I do want to oversize it just slightly. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the ratio and do 4.1. And then because I want to do the front and the back, I am going to duplicate that. Now, because of the size of these, you may not be able to get them side by side on your sublimation paper, depending on your printer. So that's side by side for me. And these margins should work with my printer. However, you might want to check on your printer. For the other version, I'm going to search for square. Now, technically my Christmas tree is a triangle. However, I really didn't see a triangle that would work. So I am going to go with a square. Again, we'll pick frame and then pick a square. Now, when you're looking for frames, you want to look for one without a border for this particular project. And we're going to add it over here. Then I'm going to click position. And I'm actually going to unlock this, and the height I want to be a little bit over 4, but the width can be right at 4. And again, we want to duplicate this to get both the front and the back of the wind spinner, and then we can center those up. So now we have the top for the circular wind spinner, and the bottom squares are for the Christmas tree shaped wind spinner. I'm going to go to uploads, and if you have not already, you would upload your file here. So you would click upload file and find the file on your computer. I have the files that I'm going to use already uploaded. So I would just pick the version that I want to use, and I'm going to drag the same version into both of these squares. Now, you could flip the back version. If you wanted the back image to be a mirror image of the front, you would just flip it and flip horizontally. Now, I don't think that's necessary, so I just leave it the same on mine, but you can flip it if you need to. Now, if you have any words in your design, you would not want to use that option. The other thing you can do for each one of these is to double click the picture, and then you could resize it and move it around if you wanted a different portion of the design for the wind spinner itself. I'm actually just going to undo that because I am fine with the pictures the way they are. Once you're done with your design and ready to download, you would just click share, download, and for sublimation printing, I like to download as a PDF for print and CMYK. Then download it as a PDF print and print on your sublimation printer with sublimation ink onto sublimation paper. So this is what the prints look like when they come out of my sublimation printer, and I did mirror these. So you do need to mirror the print when you print it. And so the top two I would use for the front and back of a round one, and the square one I would use for the front and the back of the tree ornament. So let's take a look at how to prep one of these wind spinners. First thing you want to do with blanks like these is just to make sure that they do not have a protective film on them. If they do, you want to peel that off. Now, neither one of these blanks came with a film on them, but I would always check in the case of a wind spinner. Then the next thing you want to do is to trim your sublimation print. So I just cut it away from the rest of the sheet, and then I'm going to trim it very close on all four sides. So I just want it fairly close to the edge because I would like to tape both of these sides at the same time. Now you could do one side and then do the other, but I find it simpler to just do them both at once. And then I'm going to trim fairly close on the edges as well. You can leave a slight white area around here, but this is just going to make it easier to locate the print and tape it into place. Now, you could do like a print and cut with your Cricut machine here and get it super close to the design. That would definitely be an option. But if you don't have a Cricut machine, then just cutting around with a pair of scissors and sticking fairly close to the circle is fine. Remember, we did oversize these prints slightly, so there is a little bit of room for error. Then you want to clean your sublimation blank. I'm just using a lint roller to go over it on both sides and clean it up. Then we'll take that top pole, just make sure it's at the top of our design and that that entire surface is covered by the design. Then we'll take our next print. Again, you want to make sure the top is towards the top. And again, make sure the entire spinner is covered by your print. And then we can use heat resistant tape to sort of trap the spinner inside of the prints. Now I like to start with tape on both sides and then repeat on the next side and the next and tape in several places. And once you've taped it really well, it is ready to press. Now, if you don't like this method, you could use an adhesive spray on the print. I do have another video about using adhesive sprays, and I'll link to that in the description below this video. Now you may be thinking, how would you do that for the tree? Because we did not size this exact. So for this square, I'm going to add the tree, and I did go ahead and trim it a little bit. But now that I have the tree on this version, I can kind of trim around this tree with my scissors, just sort of at an angle, and get it closer than it was. And that way I know that this is completely covered by sublimation print. So now I have that tree very close, and I can add it to this second print. So I'm just going to flip it over, add it to the second print. I'm just going to tape this first one down to the second. This accomplishes the same goal where we can do them both at one time, but it does make it a bit easier with the odd shape. So then I have a heat resistant mat, protective paper on the bottom, protective paper on the top. We're going to press one side, flip it, and press the other. My heat press is set to 380 degrees for 60 seconds, and I'm going to press the first side. Lift it up after the first side, just flip it over, make sure it's still covered, press the second side for the same amount of time. Then once that second side is done, we can remove the sublimation print. And I actually like to just sort of cut the edge off these pieces of tape. And this will be very, very hot, so be sure to wear your heat resistant gloves. And then you can peel back and take a look at your adorable ornament made with sublimation. So let me make a few more of these and then we'll take a look at finishing these off. Now I've sublimated all of these example pieces, and I must say I love the way these turned out. So I did these Christmas village images. However, you could do any image you would like. Now these come with a hanger that is intended to allow these to spin. And all you do is use the clip to clip it on to that spinner. And that would allow these to spin around. Now they're probably not gonna do a ton of spinning on a tree indoors. So you can also do a ribbon or something in the top. And then you can also bend these. So what they're intended to do is you bend them in order to catch more of the wind. So I really like them flat for Christmas ornaments, just quite frankly. However, you could just sort of bend them into a variety of shapes. I could maybe bend both sides out a little bit if I wanted to, and you could just play around with bending them however you would like. Then if you don't like the spinner, you could add a ribbon, twine, just whatever you would like to the top here, and use that instead. You could even use an ornament hook if you prefer that. So whatever look that you prefer, you just need to add something to the top to hang these by, and then they are ready to put on your tree. I preferred the look of the ribbon, so I added ribbon to all of these, and for each of them I did one that I bent slightly and then one flat, just so you could kind of see a difference. And again, you could play with the bending on these and bend them however you would like. I really like it flat, but then the bending adds some cool dimension as well. So I really like them both ways, actually. So seriously, the bent version, the flat version, I can't decide. I might do a mixture of both, but I really love the way these turned out. Now I used just my Christmas Village print on these, but you could use photos, any type of custom design you could add to this ornament with your sublimation printer, and then customize that Christmas tree with ornaments that you have handmade. And these would make great gifts as well. Now I did the same design on the front as well as the back on all of mine. So either way I put it on the tree, it will be the same. If you wanted to, you could do the front with one image and then the back with like a name and a date. So let's say you put a photo in the center of this of your grandkids or something, you could add the names and dates on the back so you never forget when the photo was from. So that's another option as well, so you can change up the photos on the front and the back and make them different if you would like, or if you just want some variety, maybe this side this year and next year I'm gonna turn it over. Now if you bend these out and use this as your front, you could absolutely bend them back flat for storage and bend them the other way the next year to display the other side. Like you can bend and rebend these as well. So don't think once you bend it that it's permanent. I probably wouldn't just bend them back and forth all the way like a 90-degree, it might break, but just bending them slightly back and forth over the years won't hurt them at all. And I always like the idea of storing my ornaments flat because I feel like it keeps them in better condition. Now, if you do want to use the same Christmas Village designs that I have in this video, I do have a set of 5 for you for free, and I will link to that in the description below this video. So click it, add your email address, and then the files will be sent to your email, and you can use them for this project as well as any other holiday projects you have planned. So now all that's left for you to do is pick either round or Christmas tree shaped and start making some ornaments for your tree using wind spinner sublimation blanks. I really think you're gonna like this one. So now if you have any questions about anything we've covered, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you like this video and it helped you, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. I have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't wanna miss any of those. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.